Hello and welcome to Coombe Down Primary School. This is video number 1 of a 2-part induction for new families this year. It looks a little bit different, doesn't it? However, hopefully I'm going to deliver to you the slides that I would have delivered if you had been in front of me to hear this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to welcome you to Coombe Down Primary School, and we're going to look at a number of slides to illustrate and show you the types of things that we value here at Coombe Down the most. So let's have a look at a slide. These are our aims for today, to really introduce you to what's at the beating heart of the foundation stage here at Coombe Down Primary School. So I'm going to introduce you to some new words. I'm going to give you an overview of what it's like to be at our school. So hopefully at the end of this first video you will get a sense of what it's like to be a pupil and a parent here of Coombe Down Primary School. Okay, let's have a look at the first slide. So let's give you a sense of what you're bringing your child to in September. You're bringing your child to a school of 420 pupils, a staff of over 50, and a school that embraces the two-form entry. So that's why in the morning it's really difficult to park your car when you come to school. We are a big organisation, very different to nursery, but still the same. So the Willow classes, Willow 1 and Willow 2, that occupy the early years space at Coombe Down Primary School, sits within the framework of 420 pupils. So that first couple of weeks and months are the children adjusting to their brand new environment, which is a little bit bigger than nursery. But those steps are incremental. We build up the children's experiences as we move through September and October and November. So it's not everything straight away, it's that gradual slide towards full-time school. Okay, let's have a look at another slide. So this is what we value more than anything else here at Coombe Down School. We value these 4 early years principles which will make your journey into school hopefully as smooth as it can be. The first one is that your child is unique. Now you know that already, that your son or your daughter is going to come to school and may not, you feel, fit within that primary framework. Because they love cars, they love dinosaurs, they're a unique person to themselves. They like dancing, they like drawing, they like colouring. Your children are unique, and we pick your child up where they come through the door in September, and we start their journey where they are. So, to take away any anxiety that you might have about your child starting school, we pick them up where they join us. So if that means for your child they're not quite ready to write their names, or they're not quite ready to recognise numbers, we will pick them up on their journey and take them forward from that place. Positive relationships are absolutely key here. We're not saying to you that we take all of the ownership of your child when you drop them off at 8:30, although some of you might wish so. We're not saying that we take sole responsibility and then take your child away at 3:15. This is about positive relationships and an opportunity for you to work alongside the school and alongside your child, because ultimately what we want here is we need your child to be very successful in their first year of school. The foundation stage, like its name suggests, is the foundation to which we can build on all the subsequent years of learning as they move through, as your child moves through the school. So relationships are important. Environment's the third point. We are currently developing our outside space, and we're developing our classrooms and the school here all the time to make the experience for children as the best that it can possibly be. So those environments are important to us. So if we've got that unique child that's starting wherever they're starting, we've got a good relationship with you as parents and carers, and we've got an environment in which the children can flourish, these complementary themes are important to the development of your early child. And then we've got, as we say, that development, that learning, that teaching, that maths, that phonics, the literacy lessons, the friendships, the creative development. All of that runs alongside your child. as we build up those complementary themes. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So, the ethos that we have here at Coombe Primary School is that we are all part of a community of learners. So it's not just about me as a teacher and your child. This is about you joining a whole range of activities that's going to happen within your child's first year of school and beyond. The summer fairs, the PTA events, coming in to hear children read, helping out on school trips. This is absolutely crucial to your journey throughout the school as you become part of that paid-up member of a learning community. So therefore, you're integral to what we do. So what I'm trying to stress in this video is that we're not saying goodbye at 8:30. We're encouraging you to be part of the team, to get on board, to be part of what we do. So, but what we want to do within that, with regards to the children, is we want those children to be aiming high, we want them to be successful and high-achieving children, but more importantly, we want them to be resilient learners. So we can capture that spirit and make them resilient learners as they move up through the school. That no challenge is too great for the children that start at Coombe Primary School, but actually that those challenges can be built upon and can be learnt from, and the children are really resilient within that. Let's have a look at another slide. So, the key learning requirements for the children fit into two sections. We've got the prime and the specific areas. So this is what the curriculum and broadly the Children's Day will look like when the children start school in September. So we've got the prime areas, which is that communication, that personal social development, that physical development as being centred to what we do. If we get that bit right, if we get social, communicative, chatty children, we're going to be successful in the specific areas of literacy and maths, that creative development, and that knowledge and understanding of the world. So the prime and the specific areas of our curriculum will run together and run concurrently, but we need to get the prime areas first sorted out before we can move on to those specific areas here. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. So we understand that it's a matter of perspective, isn't it? That for some of your children that start off, those summer-born children, those July babies, some of those children when they start school will only just be 4 years old. To put another way, they will be 48 months old. These are very young little children starting school and starting that journey. And we understand that and we respect that. So for some of you with summer-born children, you're going to think, well, actually, I think they're a bit too little for school. And when you look at the children in the sense of months, yeah, they've started their journey, but they are only 48 months old. But look what they've managed to learn in that 48 months. They've already acquired lots of language, they've already acquired lots of vocabulary words, they've learned to do lots of things. So don't underestimate the 4-year-olds or the just 4-year-olds that come in at 48 months. Let's look at the next slide, because some of the children will be turning 5 when they join primary school, but they'll be 16 months old. But it's still quite little, isn't it? Just cast your mind back to 60 months ago when you were giving birth to these children, 60 months down the line, and here we are starting the primary school journey. So again, in the sense of the unique child, we pick those children up where we meet them and we move them on. But they're just a little bit bigger than those ones that have started school when they're 4. What's really important here of mentioning the difference between the age groups of the children is that we understand that for some of you that could create some anxiety about starting school, and we also understand that for those children who are very ready for school, they will need perhaps some more challenge, and we understand that. I put those slides out to understand that perspective, to say that we're on the same page as you with regards to little and older children as they start reception. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So, parent partnership is the key message, I think, from this first video, is that we're going to be working alongside you. I see it as a triangle. I see it as school, I see it as the child, and I see it as the parent. And all 3 of us are working closely together to work hard for the learning and development of your child. So nobody is going to assume a hierarchy. We look to maintain that shared responsibility between parents and children, and we encourage strong children from a very secure parent-teacher base. So yeah, it's okay to come in and ask about reading books and about challenge for the children. It's okay to say, how are the children getting on? These are okay things to be thinking about. And we embellish those and we respect those, and we're looking forward to working with you on that. So don't feel a question is too big or too small. If you have a question or concern, you need to ask it, and we will answer it in that spirit of high quality parental teacher relationships. Let's have a look at another slide. So if you were sat here in front of me this evening or this morning, what I would ask you to do is to think about this question, a parent partnership game of when you think school starts. Because for many of your children, school started on the day they were born. They were learning brand new things, they were learning new words, they were learning how to do things. But this notion of school and where school starts, we want to embellish very much what nurseries and preschool provision has been doing to ensure the learning and development of your child. Some people have said historically to that question, when does school start? Some people say 8:30 in the morning. Some parents have often come here and said, when does school start? From the minute the child was born. So really it would be a mixed opinion about when school starts. But for us, school does start in September. There will be an induction period where we settle the children into school. And we'll be working with you from day one. So when school starts really is about school readiness for the children, because actually the children might well be in school, but they may not be ready to start learning in the way that you and I perceive school to be. So when school starts often might depend on when the children are ready to start school. And that may not, or may well not be, in September, on the 1st of September in 2020. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So here's my classroom. In fact, this is a Willow 2 environment. You may have seen a subsequent video on here where we've done a tour of the key Stage 1 classrooms, including the 2 Willow classes. But environments play a key role in learning development. That hopefully we're planning, stimulating play-based activities for your child when they start school. And an environment that's very rich in language to be able to, again, as the children start school, pick them up from where they are and embellish them with all this fun and happiness that's going on within the classroom. So that's my classroom. That was at the time of Chinese New Year, the year before last, where we think that environments are important for good learning and development. Let's have a look at another one. We've talked about the importance of 7 areas of learning. Here's one of the Willow classes, again, Willow 2, my classroom. The environments are one thing, what's happening within inside the classroom, but we make sure that learning development happens in the classrooms, happens across the school, and happens within those 7 areas of learning, which looks at things like, as we looked at the prime and specific, looks at things like creative development, mathematical development, and literacy development. So those are happening inside those classrooms, but happening in different ways and at different rates for different children. We value all 7 areas of learning that go on in those classrooms. So although your child may not perhaps come to school reading some words or being able to read their name, we put value in literacy as the same value that we put in physical development and creative development. We feel as though there are no strands of learning that should take precedence or hierarchy over any other. So those 7 areas of learning should be just as important as one another. I think as soon as we start putting maths or literacy at the top of that pile, although crucial to unlocking future learning, if we start to do that, we've slightly misunderstood the aims of the foundation stage, which puts creative and physical development in equal handfuls. Let's have a look at another slide. So, to keep up to date with us so far, there are 2 things that you can do. So you can follow us on Twitter at CoomDownFS. You can also have a look at our weekly blog in the foundation stage at www.coomdown.com. So those are two early ways that you can start to follow us from now. Thank you very much for listening to our very first video. I'll see you in the next video shortly.